when you talk about these different partnerships, like how do you turn that into like a digital strategy? Like what is it to say, all right, we're going to take this and how are we going to get it out to these other mainstream outlets that just aren't, we don't need to pull out a newspaper article. We don't need a magazine ad. Like how are you all trying to figure out what avenues you go through and how you do that?
And it's very multifaceted, right? I mean, to have a good digital strategy, you need to know your consumer, right? Who we're talking to, where we find them.
Well, let's break that down here in a little bit. So go A, the consumer.
Yep. B, where do we find them? And C, how do we want to communicate what we're trying to tell, right? So the story, again, it comes back to that. If you look at any of our data, right, like 95% of people that we communicate with that probably buy a bottle of Bardstown Bourbon have a smartphone. So you pull up our newsletters, right? And you look at any email distribution and you can see if they're open on a desktop or if they're open on a tablet or a PC, right? Or their smartphone again. And the numbers are overwhelmingly pointing towards your smartphones, especially when we want to talk about our bourbon adjacent. How do we want to communicate with the next generation of drinker? How do we want to make this product exciting for them, right? Because the reality of it is it's bourbon, it's in a glass. It's all good for the most part at the end of the day, and some products are better than others, but it's all for me tied back to experience, community, sensory, bringing collaboration together, sitting at the table, having a meal, having that like full experience, right? I mean, I always look back at a whiskey and I think to myself, like, I had that whiskey and I can tell you exactly who I was with, where I was from, right? Because we're all tied to the experience. So how do we embody that and bring that into storytelling on the digital side, right? This is why I love Instagram so much. I think Instagram's kind of changed it a lot from the algorithm and where it was when I first got into it. And you guys, I'm sure as well, it's so long form content focused now with like reels and stories and all that, where a static post kind of get, pushed down and
they get buried a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, very much so. And that's because Instagram is basically saying, hey, we are going to incentivize people who keep people on our platform longer. It all ranks back to how long are you as a creator or myself keeping people on their platform? And then we're going to incentivize that content and put it in front of people first. So that has to be a bread and butter for everyone.